and welcome. This is a release demo of something that we have already released, actually, but we just wanted to go through it with you guys since it's been live. So it's the central overview, the new page, and that we now have live. And the agenda is to go through the central overview, but also so both the daily schedule part and the forms part. And then we'll also show the procedures update, the feature that we also released in our last release 2 weeks ago. And then there'll be some time for questions and feedback. So I don't know that we'll need the whole 45 minutes, but there's plenty of time to go through this. And we'll be doing it in English today, but if you do have questions later in Swedish, we're here to help you with that. So just reach out to Tove or me if you want to talk in Swedish instead. So that's the plan. I don't know if Jimmy, you want to say a few words before I show the new central overview?
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jimmy. I'm the product owner in compliance. Yeah, so I guess the main point of the central overview, really the goal we're trying to achieve is to make it more useful for our end users, to show a lot more high level information, so you don't need to go digging for it, and to provide a kind of overview of your business in general and at the site or location level too. A few things to note. So this is the first version of this. We're going to continue to update it based on feedback and further ideas that we have. So feedback is more than welcome and really appreciated on what you might find useful, what you think you would use more on these pages, or any numbers you think that might be missing or could really benefit you and your business. So yeah, totally open to feedback and happy to chat a bit more once we go through the demo.
Perfect. Yeah. Then I will just log in and show you guys. So I'm sure most of you have seen this by now, but I'm now logged into one of our demo environments, so it doesn't have as much data as maybe a regular platform would. But as you might have seen, we have this is the landing page for anyone who has access to more than one location. So if you log in and you want status over the locations that you are responsible for, this is your landing page. So it's the central overview. And it now has 2 tabs. So the daily schedule and the forms. They used to be on one page next to each other, but this way there's more room for more valuable data. So what's also nice is, as you can see here, there's quite a bit of gray space. So as Jimmy said, we're happy to hear what else you would like to see here, as there is more room. So something like maybe more focus on deviations or procedures, routines, that there's room for that. So we're planning to give you as much as possible when you log in. But just as before, we have a date picker, and it's set to 7 days, so previous 7 days. And that means previous, so not including today, because that would maybe be a bit unfair sometimes to the ones who have not gotten so far in today's schedule compared to the ones who are finished. So it's the date picker up here, and if you do want today, you can still choose that, and it will show you today only. But it's set to 7 days, and we start with this big tile of the compliance score. It used to be quite small, and you would have to look for it. So we can now see that for the previous 7 days, we have 16.6% of compliance score. What's nice and new is that you can now, if you want to compare this to another period. So if we take 1 week back, we can compare it and see that it's then the same, but this could differ, of course, and you can choose longer periods to compare. The next tile that we have is the compliance score trend. It is looking a bit strange since this is a demo, but you can see the trend, and that also changes when I change the date picker here. So it has the dates and the compliance score. The colors up here are the same for the red, yellow, and green. And I just want to mention, if you haven't heard this, but if you do want to, these can be changed. So maybe you want 90 to 100% to be green, then we can set that for you. So just contact support if you want to change these limits. And then we can scroll down and we have the daily schedule. So this means an overview of all the locations that you have. These have been changed, so they're more as a little circle here to show you how far they've gotten. And if you're green and you've done 100%, that shows. And it's scrollable, so it shows you here how many locations you have, and again, the compliance score for the period. And you can see the amount of open deviations. And you can also see how many tasks have been done. So 6 out of 6 is 100%. So quite the same as before, just looks a bit different. And then you also have this sorting, which is the same as we used to have. So the compliance score descending or ascending. So if we switch it, we'll have the one with the lowest score on top. And the open deviations one is quite a good one to sort. So you'll have the locations with the most deviations on the top there. And what's also nice and new is that this whole page is printable to PDF. So we have this little print button in the right-hand corner. And it gives the exact same layout as the page. So we're hoping that this will reduce that you don't have to make your own diagrams and stables. No, what's it called? Yeah. But so that you can email this maybe, or show it on weekly meetings, just the status, the trend, and also all the locations. So if you haven't seen that, it's quite a good new feature, being able to print the page. And then at the very bottom here, we still have kept, so it says legacy page overview. And you can click on that and get to our old page. I don't know how much you have needed that, but if you feel that there are things that you're missing from this page, which there shouldn't be, but there you can still go here. We will be removing it. So if we don't hear from you, then we're no news is good news, basically. That's what we're hoping. And then we have the date picker in the corner. So the same as before, you can sort on regions or locations, and you will get only that region, for example, and see the compliance score. So everything hits like what you have chosen. And we have
ett problem med era Apple Music.
Sorry, Apple is talking to me. Yeah, so this is the filters for the locations or groups. Then we have another filter, which is quite new. So this is something we've taken from the report page, where you can choose, for example, the modules. So you used to choose modules more directly under the daily schedule, but now in all of our pages, we have the filters in the right-hand corner instead. So we can choose only food safety, for example, and have a look at that. And it's going to show you only food safety for the period that you choose. So now we're looking at the food safety module for our locations. And it's the same for these ones. You can choose only modules here, or for example, areas and checklists, which was not possible before. So we choose the areas. And then instead of seeing the locations, we see how the different areas or checklists are doing. So now it says front of house closing, opening, temperature controls. So you can filter out the checklists here to see how they are doing. So that's quite useful. And then if you want to, you can just reset the filters up here with this button. Are there any questions on this daily schedule page so far from anyone? Nothing? No, not yet. Okay. Then I'll just jump over to the forms section. So this one is quite new also compared to what it used to look like. And we show the first tile here is with the form score, and that shows only if you do have scoring on your forms. If you don't, then this is empty. But having scoring on the forms is quite nice, as you now get this view of the trend. So same thing, you can compare also to another period, and then you have the trend. So what this is showing is the trend of the score of the forms that have been filled in. That's the purple line. The deviations, that's the red dotted line here. And then you have also the amount of completed forms, which you can also, if you want to, hide like this. And it, of course, also reacts to the period that you choose. And below that, again, are all the locations. What this means now, when the page is just loaded for the first time, is it's showing all the forms. So in our Madrid location, we have 5 completed forms, and those are 5 in total from this past year. In London, we have 13, and that's from all the forms that have been completed, not one specific one. We see how many open deviations there are, and then this one says open, but it should say ongoing, actually, we noticed. So these are the how many ongoing forms a location has. And if we're using the filter on this page, this is where we can choose one form in particular. So the site fire round, for example, we can choose. And then now we have chosen only one form. And it also shows here, it's the site fire round that we are looking at for the period, with the trend and every location. And what we're looking to add on this page, on these filters, is actually the sort of the areas within a form. So say that this would have outside or any other type of sort of heading within a form. We'll be able to sort on that also soon. So you can just see how are we doing on the different areas within a form. So that's a good thing that's coming. I can't promise you when, but it'll be this year. And same thing, you can go if you want to go back. We have this at the bottom. So any questions on the forms page so far? No? Good. Just wanted to make sure everyone has seen the filters that are now in the right-hand corner. So that's basically the overview for now. Then I thought I would show you the next thing, which is the procedures update. So if I can actually stay on this one. If we instead go to procedures, we can choose, I quite like this view where they are lined like this, all of our procedures. And what's new here is that if you go into a procedure, so I take the hand washing one and choose edit. And I scroll down and I add something important to this text and I save it. Then it's going to ask me if this is a major change. So please, if it is a major change, please add a description. Major change, everyone must know. And then I don't know if everyone has seen this, but you can select a next review date. So if you say in 1 month, I want this to be reviewed, you can select that. That's not part of this release though, but you can if you want to now notify existing locations about changes. So I'm clicking this and I publish my new version. Now, if I choose to go to a location, we take the Stockholm one. I can now, on my local overview here, see that there's a tile that says updated procedures. And as you can see, it says major change, everyone must know. This stays here until someone with the correct role. So it has to be, you need to be a user, and I can show you that, but with a certain role to be allowed to acknowledge this update. So I click on this. And it says acknowledge update. Please confirm that you have read and understood the changes. And I can accept. Here's another one that has been added. And what it has an arrow, so I can go to that one and I can read it. And if I want to, I can copy this central description and save. So maybe I want to do that before I say that I acknowledge. So now we do have the new version. And I can accept. So that's a way of informing your locations that something has been updated within a procedure. We're also looking to maybe keep them, the updated procedures, for a while, so you can see which one have lately been updated. So that might be an improvement to this. And what, just to show you guys that it needs to be on the role that you're allowed to do this. And to be allowed to acknowledge a procedure change, you have to have this one on, the management mode for a location locally. So this needs to be turned on. So you know that. Yes, that was actually everything we wanted to show today. Are there any questions at all? Do you like the new page? No news? Okay, I'll stop sharing.
No questions from anyone? No?
No.
It's clear? Okay.
That feels like a good thing, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as Marie said, well, thank you as well, Marie, for the nice demo. But as you said, if you have any questions or feedback as well when you start to use it, please just reach out to us or the support, and we'd be happy to take any feedback or any ideas of what you want to see on the central overview page. That's really appreciated. So it's the most helpful for you. Okay.
Very good. Then you have some time back in your diaries. Thank you for today, and we'll speak soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Tack så mycket.
Bye.
Thanks, Micke. Hej då.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.